Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, from Southern Oregon. Just inside the race shop with my 18T. And walking outside here, it feels great to be home in Southern Oregon. We've spent quite a bit of time here since our last race at the Skagit Speedway. Took one weekend off, and we are going to be taking this weekend off. And that's really the spark of today's show, because a lot of you guys saw recently that Tarlton Motorsports announced that Spencer Bayston was going to be behind the wheel of the 21 car. And a lot of people had reached out and said, hey Tanner, I thought you were finishing the year in the 21 car once James McFadden goes home. So we're going to dive into that in today's video. I have a little bit of explaining to do, some of my side of things, and yeah, I want to just talk about what the rest of my 2025 looks like. Now, before we get into that, I want to tell you about the sponsor of today's show, Lasfit. So as many of you guys know, this truck right here, my 2025 GMC Sierra, is my baby. And of course, with the big investment sitting here for our team, we want to take care of our equipment. And we've started by getting some floor liners for the truck, and we have chosen the brand Lasfit. Now, these Lasfit liners are a step ahead of their competition because of their durability, appearance, and the attention to detail that they spent on them while building the product. So we have one on the driver's side, one of course in the back seat, and if you flip this seat down, you can see the liner goes clear underneath the seat. And then of course here on the passenger side. And then my favorite feature, and this probably helps us most while we're traveling up and down the road, but they're super easy to install, but then also to remove. So while we're at dirt tracks and traveling all across the United States, we're putting our equipment and vehicles in super harsh environments in some extremely dirty places. So we can just pull our floor liners out, clean them all right back up with a hose or with a pressure washer, however we want to do it. And then we can just put them right back in our vehicle, and we're ready to keep putting miles down and head to our next destination. So if you're in the market for an all-weather floor liner for your vehicle to protect your carpet, or just the stock liner that's in it, make sure to check out the Lasfit brand. I'm going to put a link at the top of the description. We appreciate their support of the channel, and I'm excited how this is going to protect and keep my 2025 GMC Sierra 3500 looking fresh all throughout the rest of the season and into the future. So I feel like this probably happens every year, but we get to about, September during the season, and you kind of look back on what June, July, and August was, and you're just like, wow, we raced really, really hard. I mean, we went all the way to Knoxville. We went all the way to the Kings Royal. We raced all these shows in between, big events, high limit, outlaws, weekly racing. Basically, if there was a race, within 5-6 hours, we were trying to be there every single day and looking at all of our options. And again, from June all the way through the end of August. So we just raced really, really hard this summer. And then now on the West Coast, September is kind of a month where there is less options and places to go to run. So that's kind of like what happened last weekend. We originally were scheduled to go to Placerville, but as it just got a little bit closer, we felt a little stretched, and we were just like, you know what, we got a lot going on. We're getting things organized with our cars, trying to get our operation in order. And there wasn't anything that was a little bit closer. So we're like, you know what, we're just gonna take the weekend off. And that was what it was. And now you guys are asking, well, Tanner, why are you skipping this weekend with the World of Outlaws? They're running Kern County and Paris. So here's why I'm not running this weekend. And then also my first scheduled race, a lot of you are like, well, when are you getting back in the 21 car? So my first scheduled race back with them is October 4th, and that was the original date at the beginning of the season. So kind of months ago, the plan was I was gonna run my car all the way through the Dennis Roth Classic. So that's kind of what I was planning with. I came up with about 40 races, right? It was really fun. I got to run with Tarlton early in the year. Then I'm gonna jump in my car, run all these races, and then jump back and finish the year with some stuff at Tulare and just some scattered NARC shows. And so as I was planning my 2025 schedule, way back at the beginning of the year, I had two variables that was kind of affecting my decision for this weekend. So the first one, Paris and Kern, obviously Paris being the one that's farther south, Southern California, it's a long ways down there. And again, both are cool racetracks, nothing to do with the tracks themselves. I ran well with Tarlton at both those places early in the year. But just with our own program, it's a long ways from where we're at in Southern Oregon all the way down there. And it happens in sprint car racing, but you are thinking in the back of your head, hey, both those places are, Paris mainly can be really hard on tires. You know, it took rubber there earlier in the year with high limit. And then you got to remember, we're not like a full-time team. So when we go run a World of Outlaw show like that, like we don't get any outside perks, you know, no pit passes, no travel money, nothing like that compared to the full-time teams. Not saying we should, but again, like we don't get any help to go down there, you know, to go 12 hours out of our way. Where at other points in the season, you know, even though we travel quite a bit, you know, we will get some free pit passes or just get some help, because obviously we're still doing our own little tour, you know, right across the country. And then on top of that, you guys know our merchandise helps our team so much go up and down the road, and at outlaw shows we can't sell. That's their rules, you know, unless the show is so big. And anyway, that's like its whole other thing. But at the end of the day, we couldn't bring our t-shirt trailer to those two events. So that's kind of how I was thinking about things from the business side of my race team. The second variable is my girlfriend, who we've been together 3.5 years. She actually is graduating from nursing school like the day that this video uploads. You guys probably remember Jessica from when I ran her outlaw cart about 1.5 years ago in her 15 blue cart. So she's graduating from nursing school, like I said, today, and in her career and with how hard she's worked, like this is like the biggest day of her professional career to this point. And it is an amazing accomplishment. She's basically made it all the way through nursing school, took the fastest path, and like is graduating as an RN at just 20 years old, has a job lined up, all sorts of cool stuff. So anyway, she's obviously been there to support so much of my racing and everything I've done the last 3 years. And so I thought like is only right, like her one big moment, right, as she's graduating school and has all this stuff going on, all these accolades, like I wanted to be there for that. And like as many of you guys have followed my channel, like one of the things about racing and like with how intense at least it's been for me and serious it's been for so many people across the board, you do sacrifice and miss a lot of things in life, you know, birthday parties and going to the lake and funerals and like all these important moments. And like you kind of know that, you know, that's what you sign up for going into it to do this at a high level. Like there's going to be a lot of things in life that you just like basically throw out the window. And a lot of it's just part of the job. And some days is harder than others. There's things that you're like, man, a little piece of you wants to be here or wants to be there. But like at the end of the day, you can't do that because you got to be 110% in the car. And so for me, like, and my entire family, like again, have sacrificed so much. But it does come back to, there are some moments you're like, hey, I really would like to be there. And you don't want to miss it, right? Because it's life. And so anyway, that's just like the little human aspect. And like I said, that was, you know, obviously like influencing my decision on what to do this weekend. And that was months ago because we were obviously planning. We knew when graduation, all that kind of stuff was going to be. So I was like, you know what? I have the freedom. I'm racing my own equipment because originally I was planning on being the 18T. So I'm like, I'm just going to take the weekend off and it's all going to like work out perfectly. I'm going to get to do that. And then we're going to go run the Roth at Tulare next Friday, Saturday. So I just explained all that to you, kind of thought I had everything all figured out. And then about, you know, a week or so ago, Tarlton had reached out to me and asked if I could run the 4 outlaw shows as James was planning to go home after that last race at Calistoga. And I'm like, shoot, like now, like obviously, you know, the nice thing about running with another team, like again, almost everything I just explained to you minus the merch trailer, that would still, I guess, be at home. Like all that doesn't matter, like as far as the travel distance or how it's going to be on tires, how it's going to be on equipment. Like it would be super fun to obviously get to go run those shows with Tarlton as we ran well at them early in the year. Now even with all that, I wanted to be there to support Jessica this weekend. So I had said, hey, I can't run the week of Kern in Paris, but I can do the Roth. So you guys just let me know if that works or I'll run my own car. And anyway, as you guys saw, Tarlton, you know, I think that they just wanted to have the same driver in for both weekends, so they hired Spencer Bayston. And again, it's their team. I totally understand. Like, they have to make the decision that they feel is best for them. I wasn't available for the one weekend, and so anyway, that's the direction that they went. So anyway, that's just a little background on, you know, some people are asking, Tanner, why are you not in the car this weekend or this or that, or you're not even racing? Like, what's going on? And anyway, it's just pretty simple. I wasn't planning on racing anyway. I had something else, and then this great opportunity came up. But like at the end of the day, like I just had to weigh like, here, what do I want to do? Like, where do I want to be? And so that decision honestly didn't end up being too difficult. The only part that kept me, I won't lie, as a driver in the back of my head was thinking of that high limit race at Paris earlier in the year, like passing Reitzel and then the rubber coming out, and like, man, like we were just really good there. So But at the end of the day, man, there's gonna be a lot of races coming up like we're gonna be really good and have chances to win. So that's pretty much that. And the main reason I wanted to share all this with you is because, again, it's kind of like the real human aspect of life and what we do with our sport in motorsports and dirt racing. Because it is just the reality of things. Like I told you, like I have missed a lot of stuff in my young life, and like I'm going to miss, like if I continue to do what I do, like I'm going to miss a lot of things, right? Because you're so focused in, you want to run so many races, you want to be behind the wheel, and like this is just what matters so much. I've accepted now things in the future that I don't even know about, that I know I won't be at. But again, there's still those that come up that like, hey, makes you think about it. And again, all drivers and crew members and people that work in this industry experience that. So anyway, I wanted to share it with you because I know there's probably a lot of young viewers, and you guys even if you're just having fun running go-karts or micros or, you know, this or that, like you're gonna experience it as well. That's today's show. Thank you guys for watching. We are wishing Tarlton Motorsports the best. Again, I'll be jumping back with them October 4th at the Tulare Thunder Bowl, so excited to get racing with Drew Warner, Nate, and the rest of their team. I'm sure they'll be good this weekend. Again, that 21 kart got around Kern and Paris really well early in the year. And then we'll be racing next weekend at the Roth with the red 18T. So that could be potentially like our final weekend in the 18T. So just finishing things up here at the shop. It's basically, you saw it's kind of sitting over there ready to roll. And in the meantime, even when we're not racing, there's still a lot of work to be done as we're continuing to build the program and just everything we got going here at THR. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being a part of our journey, and we'll see you in the next show. Deuces.